right, how's everyone doing today? Good, good. Quick question. Who is here because they're genuinely interested in real estate? Who is here and is not interested in real estate? Hey, I respect your honesty. Who's just here because you don't have to go to your class that you may have had to go to in your life? See, I like that, I like that. So my name is Mike Mackin. I'm a real estate broker in the area. Ms. Teresa over here reached out to me and asked me if I would come and speak to some of you guys, and I was elated. I said, absolutely I would. My whole take is everyone is told, graduate, go to college, get a degree. That's the traditional way. I'm not saying nothing negative about college, but college is not for everybody. And one other avenue to pursue if you do have interest is real estate. So what I started here is Juggernaut 365 is my educational series I started. It's just an introduction to real estate. So I hope you get something good out of this today. Oh, let's go back. Does anyone know what juggernauts means? Anyone know like a basic definition of juggernaut? It is not a real estate term, it's just a general term. Someone just throw it out there. Take a stab. Anybody? Nobody? Okay. The juggernaut is a huge, powerful, dominant, overwhelming force or institution. Anyone or anything that seems unstoppable. So you as an individual, you should feel this way no matter what you're doing. Going to school, being a good sibling, whatever you do at your job, you want to be unstoppable. You want to be the best that you can be. That's why I call it juggernauts, because I want to educate, encourage, and empower anyone that has an interest in real estate to feel like they want to become unstoppable in this industry. Obviously, this is me. That's my mean old ugly mug. I am a real estate broker in the area. I am under eXp Realty. I'm opening my own office called the Agency 365. It'll be in downtown Wyandotte in a brand new building that's being built. A little bit of my personal background. I grew up in Taylor, single parent, only child, didn't have any money. Mom worked all the time, so just made it work, right? Free sport athlete, went to Taylor schools, graduated from Taylor, 91. Didn't start out with the best beginning, but the point is, everybody comes from different backgrounds. You may come from a family with a lot of money, you may come from a family with no money. It doesn't mean you can't be passionate and pursue a career that you love. I found mine when I was 41 years old. I've done everything in the world. I've been a welder, a roofer, I've done IT work, I've been a DJ, I've owned a record label, I was a rapper in the 90s. I've done it all. That's honest, that's honest. That 8 Mile movie, if you watch it, is real. We all used to hang out down at the shelter, St. Andrews Hall, that was a real place. But guess what? One day I woke up and go, I'm not gonna be famous. So I gotta make another move. So I make a move after move, start businesses, failed at businesses. But 7 years ago, I got into real estate. I did it part-time for a long time. When I finally went full-time, doors started opening. The potential there, if you have passion, if you're driven, if you're an outgoing people person, there's potential. So I just want to give you as much information as I can. So you might go home and go, oh, that sounds kind of cool. Maybe I should look into a little bit more. How many people already know you're going to college when you graduate? It's already mapped out, you're going. How many people know you're not going to college when you graduate? How many people know you're not going to college but still want a successful career when you grow up? Of course, right? I love that. Okay. It's possible. And that doesn't mean college is bad, just college is not for everybody. And this is another avenue just to open your mind, listen to what I got to tell you, and something to consider. Quick background. So I'm an associate broker of eXp Realty. My office is right over on Trenton Road currently right now that I reside out of. I'm sorry, West Road in Trenton. I'm a broker owner. I'm opening my own office. I'll be in downtown Wyandotte in 2022. I also started my own mortgage company, Empire Mortgage Group, will also be in downtown Wyandotte. I'm the president and co-owner of a title company, which goes hand in hand with the real estate company because those are the ones that get your paperwork together and help you close deals. I created a Keys to the Future Scholarship Fund. I gave 2 aspiring students in the Metro Detroit area scholarships this past May when they graduated. Every year I want to do that. I want to give back to you guys. I want to see you guys succeed. That's why I'm standing here today, to give you, educate you on real estate, educate you on life. Yesterday I had a 10-minute conversation at another school about how do I build my credit. It's a huge part as an adult, but a lot of you guys don't know yet. How do I build credit? What is credit? So we can get into all that a little bit. And finally, I created Juggernauts 365 because I want to teach you guys. I want to get back to what I know. I wish I had somebody that gave me this information when I was your age. I'd probably been in a completely different situation. Real quick, this is the building that my office will be in. My business partner is building a $20 million building on Oak Street in downtown Wyandotte. I don't know if you ever go there. It's where the old post office used to be. 49 luxury condos, a swimming pool, swim-up bar, cabanas. It's going to be like Vegas. Right here in the middle, that's going to be my office. Once it's built, anyone that comes here, you guys are open to come visit my office anytime. You will have my contact info. I got business cards here. Come see what I'm doing. Come hang out for the afternoon. Shadow what we do in the office. I want to show you guys. I want you guys, the more you know, the more comfortable you might feel considering real estate as a career. What I'm going to cover today: what is real estate? How does one buy real estate? What does an agent actually do? And how would I become an agent if I wanted to? And then we'll open up the floor for some Q&A. Any questions at this point at all? What exactly is real estate? Not real estate agents, not real estate brokers. What is real estate? What is the actual definition of real estate?
Isn't it property, homes, businesses, things like that?
That's very close. Good job. Yep. So here, the basic definition is physical land with permanent structures and resources that are attached to it. That's what you're buying or what you own when you sell real estate. That was very good. So let's break it down. Land. Everyone knows the land. It's the dirt, the soil, the grass outside. But listen to this. Land refers to the earth's surface down to the center of the earth. So when you own real estate, your ownership goes straight down to the core of the earth and all the way up to airspace above. So when you own a plot of land, you own from outer space to the center of the core. Did anyone know that? That's pretty deep if you think about it, right? It's not just a flat surface. Permanent structure. Permanent structure, the structure that is placed on the land for foreseeable future that's affixed to the ground. What would be a permanent structure? What's that? A house. What else? Come on, what else? What else would be a permanent structure? We're sitting in one, first of all.
Schools.
What else? Buildings, barns, garages, in-ground swimming pools. Yes. It is permanent. It's something that, like a trampoline, a swing set that can just be picked up and moved. That's not considered permanent. If it's dug into the ground and it's permanently there, yes, it can be torn down or blown away or something crazy, but it was permanently built to stay on that ground. So, sorry. And then resources. Resources that could possibly be included on, let's say, your state, your city, your county, your district, someone already has ownership of it. It'd be like crops if you're in a farm area, minerals, water, trees, all that ties into real estate once you own it. So that's the three basic principles of the elements of real estate. Any questions with any of that? All right. What are the four basic types of real estate? Someone give me one. What's real estate? Like where do you live? What does that consider? Your home, what does that consider? What kind of real estate? Residential. Commercial. So we have residential, we have commercial. Come on, someone else, throw it out there. I don't care if you're wrong. Residential, commercial. That's your stores, that's your malls. What else? Yes. What's that? Federal, it's more of a building, it's government, which is not typical real estate, but it is a form of real estate, yes. But it's not something that you and I can publicly sell back and forth when it's owned by the government. What's like Ford Motor Company? What are those kind of things? Right. What are factories? Like what are those? That would be fall under what? Industrial. So we have residential, we have commercial, we have industrial. What's that fourth one? What does everything sit on before it's built? Yes. So there you go. We have residential, commercial, industrial, and land. Those are the four basic types of real estate that you can buy and sell. Residential would be your single-family homes, condos, your co-ops, apartments, townhouses, duplex, triplex, fourplex, mobile homes. Probably the majority of the people in this room live in one of those. That's residential real estate. Commercial, office spaces, medical offices, retail, fast food, strip malls, apartments, mobile homes, hotels, storage facilities, grocery stores. That's commercial, right? Pretty straightforward. Industrial, manufacturing, production facilities, storages, warehouse, distribution like Amazon, right? Power plants, DTE, data service centers, energy facilities. That's industrial. Then your last one is land. Undeveloped raw land. There's just land out there that nothing's never happened to it. Camping, recreational, farm ranches, wooded areas like timberland, orchards, right? Planned areas. Someone goes by a big old plot of land, a bunch of acres, because they want to develop it into subs. At one point, where you live was just a big old piece of land. Somebody bought it and developed it. And then lots in the subdivision. You'll see that now. A lot of new subs. They started to build. You see a house and then a couple of spaces with maybe a little stick sign in it. Those are lots in the sub that somebody can purchase and build a house on. So here's your four typical basic types of real estate. Any question on any one of those? Does that make sense? All right. Topic 2, how does one go about buying real estate? Has anyone here ever bought real estate? Have your parents ever bought real estate? Have you ever been involved with it a little, went and looked at houses, maybe? Okay. So you finally decide it's time to buy some real estate. What's next? Here's the 6 basic steps to buy real estate. Okay? You want to get pre-approved from with a mortgage lender. What does that mean? Unless you have cash money and you can pay right out of your pocket to buy a home, you have to get a mortgage from a mortgage lender. Getting pre-approved, that means they don't want to check you out, do a background check, check your credit, make sure your job that you say as much money that you make is what you actually make. Okay? You got to hire a great real estate agent. I know one if you need one. Or you could be one too. Officially start your home search. That's when you're out there, you're seeing houses you like, your agent's taking you in, you're walking through homes. That's how you break down your search to find the one you want. When the one you like is ready, you go and you write an offer on it. You got to write a good offer. You want to get your offer accepted by the seller because you want to buy that house you fell in love with. Once you get your offer accepted, you want to do an inspection on the house. That means you bring in a private inspector. They check for any major issues like sewer pipes breaking, the roof's leaking or it's about to cave in, your chimney's about to fall apart. And then the appraisal determines what the mortgage company thinks that house is worth. Once you get through those 5 steps, they approve your mortgage, you close on the house. So it's a little bit more of what I said, but I'll go into a little more. Seek the best mortgage lender through the pre-approval process. They're going to do a credit check. Who knows what a credit check is? What's that? What's your credit? What's your credit score right now? 0. You know that? Okay. Does anyone know if they have a credit score? Does anyone know if they even have a credit score? Go ahead. Do you? It's in your name? Okay. So when you get credit, to establish credit or build credit, it's things that are in your name. You guys are probably getting a lot of things in the mail that are saying, hey, open up this Visa credit card, this MasterCard, this Discover. You're now to the age where these people want you to start opening their credit cards and using them. If you do that, don't abuse that. Don't take your new $500 credit card and run to the mall and blow it and think it is, and you never have to worry about it again. That will affect your credit because you are now considered an adult, and if you don't pay the debts that you owe in your name, it will damage your credit. And then a couple years down the road, when you decide you want to buy a house and you go to a mortgage guy and he looks at your credit and saw that you abused it, he'll tell you, sorry, I can't give you a mortgage. Your credit's too bad. So yes, go ahead.
Can we start building credit right now if we're under our parents' credit card as long as they have good credit?
Your name has to be tied to it. because I think even as early as 16, I think they actually offer credit cards. I think the 16 and older, right? A lot of you guys have probably seen it. If it's in your parents' name, technically it's not tied to you. They want to know you specifically, how well you do with paying your debt, your credit. And then if you get a car under your name, if you eventually do, these are the steps that you start to build credit. So you just got to realize, take your credit very serious. Because bad credit will stick with you for years and years and years. And eventually you're going to want to buy your own house. And if you abused your credit at an early age, it's going to be hard to get a mortgage. So that's one of the things they do. They do run a credit check on you. They want to see where your credit is. Usually they want to see a minimum of like a 620 or a 640 or higher for you to qualify that way. They want to make sure you're making the money that you claim you make at your employer. So those are the things, once they get all that, they're going to say, okay, we're going to pre-approve you for this amount. So then you have an idea. Once you go get your real estate agent, you want a good real estate agent that knows the area, that has strong negotiation skills, and a good grip on the market. Now you guys are out there looking at the houses, but that mortgage company now told you what your budget should be. We think you can afford $100,000. We think you can afford a $300,000 house. The better your credit, the more money you're making. All that is a formula that comes together for them to determine how much money they want to give you to buy a house. So keep that in mind now, because when you get there and it's too late and you didn't do the proper steps, you won't be able to get a house when you're ready. Next step, so you write the offer on the house, you're out looking, you found the house you want, you write an amazing offer on it, you want it to be the best offer. Right now in the market, if you got a good house on the market and you're going to see it and you write an offer on it, there's probably 10 other offers on that house. That's how the real estate market is right now. That's why you need a good real estate agent that knows how to write strong offers. It's a big deal. But you got to make sure that you write the best overall offer. Not only how much you offer, there's other things. You need to allow them to stay in the house after you close. It's called occupancy. You don't rush them out of the house. There's certain things that come into play to help you get an offer accepted. Once your offer is accepted, like I told you, hire a private inspector. That's someone you hire specifically to say, hey, come look at my house that I want to buy. Let me know anything that you see that might be a problem with this house. Then the mortgage company does their appraisal, because if they say you offer $300,000 on a house to them that's only worth $100,000, they're only going to give you $100,000. They're not going to give you whatever you want. So that's where the appraisal determines the value of the house you want to buy. Then finally, they'll do the final underwriting. They give you a clear to close. You set up your closing, you go sign all the paperwork, and then you're a homeowner. Any questions on any part of that right there? Any questions about any of the credit that we talked about? Is anyone working on their credit right now? Does anyone have a credit card right now? Okay. Are you getting those in the mail, or is mom and dad throwing them in the garbage so you don't see them? You will start seeing those, I promise. But be responsible with those. Okay? So what does a real estate agent actually do? Who knows what a real estate agent does? Anybody? Anything. What's one thing that a real estate agent does?
They sell houses.
They sell, hey, that's a great start. Good job. They do sell houses. And they help buyers buy houses. That's the basic gist of it, right? Go ahead.
Aren't they the middleman between the person trying to buy and the person that's selling, and the ones who have to negotiate and the ones who...
9 times out of 10, the buyer has their own agent, and the person selling their house has their own agent. So literally those two are the communication liaison between the buyer and the seller to try to get a deal done. So you need to know what you're doing, you need to know the legal side of it, you need to know the steps and the processes. So you usually only represent either the buyer or the seller. But every once in a while you'll represent both, but usually it's almost like an attorney. He has an agent and he has an agent, and they work together to get a deal done. So the quick gist in a nutshell, the real estate agent helps his or her clients purchase, rent, or sell properties. They also advise clients about market conditions, conduct walkthroughs or showings, prepare and present binding documents, provide guidance and assistance throughout the process. Real basic. This slide right here is going to bore the heck out of you. This is just a list of some of the things that a listing agent does. Listing agent is the one that is selling the house. Buyer's agent or selling agent is the agent that's representing the buyer. This is just some of the things that we have to do. You literally are the hub of everything going on. You have to be in tune with all the steps, every single process that is involved. You have to have your finger on everything. You have to know everything that's going on. It's a lot of work. People think they watch $1 million listing on TV and they're just fancy and they drive around in fancy cars and they sell $1 million houses and they're just living it up. They are doing that, but they busted their butt to get there. They're just doing what we do on a way bigger scale, you know. But there's a lot that goes into being a real estate agent. During COVID, a lot of people wasn't working. I heard a lot of people go, hey, I really want to get my real estate license. It looks fun. It looks easy. Okay, well here's just part of what I do on a daily basis. But that doesn't mean it's bad. Trust me. So it's a career like none other. How a real estate agent is different than any other career. You do not work on a set schedule. Who has a job right now? So you go in at a certain time, you clock out at a certain time, you get a schedule emailed to you or something, right? You're on a schedule. Real estate agents don't have a schedule. It's 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You are a real estate agent. If someone calls me at 3 o'clock in the morning, which they better not, but if they do, I'm their real estate agent. If someone calls me at 1 o'clock on Sunday, I'm getting ready to watch the Piston game, or the Lions game, I'm sorry, I'm a real estate agent. So you don't have a schedule, you can't punch a clock and walk out for a few days and not have to worry about it. Ultimately, you're your own boss. You do work under a broker as an agent, but you can conduct and grow your business 100% how you want to run it. You're not an employee, you are a business. I stand right here as an agent, as a broker, I'm a business. I have an LLC, I'm a full-blown independent business. A lot of real estate agents do the exact same thing. You don't get taxes taken out of your check every week. You don't punch a clock like a normal job. Like you are your own independent business. But you can be successful as you want. Once you go all in, you can go as hard and grow as big as you want. There's no limits to your success. How many other jobs have you met or talked to someone and they told you that? The sky's the limit for you. Not a lot, because there's always limitations because there's people above you. There's bosses and managers and supervisors, and right? You're your own business. You're your own boss. You build this as big as you want. You get out of it what you put in it. 13% of all real estate agents in Michigan do 87% of real estate business. What does that mean to you? What does that mean? If only 13% are doing 87% of business, what's that mean? There's a lot of licensed real estate agents that aren't doing any business. Just because you have a license doesn't mean you're making money selling real estate. There's way more that goes into it. Getting the license is just the start. So literally this percent is doing the majority of the business. So I'm going to compare a real estate agent with 4-year college degree-based careers. Just real quick, I use finance, business, engineering. Is anyone interested in going to school for any of those? Business, finance, or engineering. All great careers, all great, degrees. So in 2021, a base salary or an average salary for finances was between $65,000 and $205,000. That's good money. That's good money. That's an auditor, accountant, financial planners, things like that. For business, 2021, an average base salary is $43,000 to $113,000. Still good money, right? After 4 years, you might not jump right into that, but that's the average. And then engineering. So anyone in mechanical engineering, the average base salary in 2021, $62,000 to $192,000. Good money, right? Not saying these are bad. If this is your interest, this is your passion, do it. That's not what I'm not here to deter you or try to steer you a different way. Real estate agent in the state of Michigan. In 2021, an average income for a licensed real estate agent in the state of Michigan will range from 0 to however much you want to make. And that's facts. I know agents that don't make $1 because they don't work. They have a license, nobody tells them to work, they want to stay home and watch TV, they don't do anything, they don't make any money. This is not a career or a job that guarantees you income. You have to generate through relationships, networking, building yourself as a business and as a brand. That's how you generate business, that's how you make money. But the limit is here. I know people that make 0. I know agents in this county that make a couple $1 million a year selling real estate. But but they work hard at it. They build empires. They have a team. They have an office. They are passionate, and they're great at what they do. So you can make 0 to whatever you want to make. Let's go back to this. Any questions on any of that stuff? Did that trigger any kind of thoughts? Anything? No? So what exactly is the path to becoming a real estate agent? Do I need a 4-year degree to be a real estate agent? Do I need a 2-year degree to be a real estate agent? You register and complete a state-approved 40-hour salesperson's licensing course. I'm not comparing 4 years to 40 hours. I'm not saying that, but I'm just telling you, if this is something you decide you're interested in, like today, let's say you graduated tomorrow and you're 18 and you want to pursue real estate, you could be up and selling real estate as a licensed real estate agent in 1 to 2 months. So once you take the 40-hour course, you can take the course in person or online. There's many companies that offer it. Just make sure they're state approved. I did mine online. I did mine 7 years ago. I was raising 3 kids. I was coaching basketball, coaching baseball, playing the married life, working my butt off, and at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, I do a few hours a night on my own time. It took me about 2 months, but I passed my course. Then you study for a couple weeks. You pay for and take the state required exam and pass with a 70% or higher. So you can't just put the course on and let it run and just skim through Netflix and think that you really have to retain what you're taught. And all you have to do is pass with a 70. You're halfway there now. 40 hours, if you think about it, that could be 1 week. You're going to join, once you do all those, you got this now, you're actually a licensed real estate agent just by doing that. The next thing you got to do, you got to join on with a real estate broker. You can't work on your own as an agent, you have to have a broker that you work under. And then when you sign on as a member of a realtors association, you can be out there tomorrow selling real estate. Pretty impressive, right? I mean, when I grew up, they said you either go get a job right out of school, doing something in a factory or something, or you gotta go to college. This is an alternative, and there's a lot of. It's not just a money thing. I don't do this just for money. Like selling real estate to me is not just for money. Every client, probably 99% of clients that I work with, once we close the deal, and I may not have known them before, they're a friend of mine. I talk to them for weeks, months, and years. And if there's ever a problem, they do call me because you're their real estate agent for life. And you're also their neighbors and their cousins and their friends and their family. Because when you treat someone well, you just built a whole nother relationship that's going to build business. It's about networking and building relationships. That's how you become successful in real estate. It might not be everybody's cup of tea. Some people don't like talking to people. Some people don't like putting themselves out there. Some people just want to go to work, do their thing, and go home. I don't have nothing bad to say about that. But the people that this resonates with, there's potential. A real estate agent's more than a job, a career, or even a business. It's a lifestyle. What does that mean? Once you commit to being a real estate agent or a real estate broker, like I said, you are on call 24 hours a day. Your phone is always on. You're always working for your clients. You're always providing information or reaching out to somebody to get something solved. This is a definite commitment with a huge return if you actually pursued real estate. This is all my contact info. If you're interested, take a picture of it. I got business cards here. I'm open to discuss this any further with anybody. Shoot me a text if you have a question. When my office is open, set up a day. Come in and visit me. I'll show you. I was forced to tell everybody that I do have my own YouTube show, A Day in the Life of Mike. It is a lot about real estate, but it's a lot about other things, my personal life, a little bit of travel, something fun, but it does give you a side of me doing some work. You get to see some ins and outs of what I do on a daily basis. All right, so I got a couple gift cards over here. Don't blurt it out. Raise your hand. What are the 4 basic types of real estate?
Residential, commercial, land, and
Residential, commercial, industrial, and land. What are the 6 steps to buying real estate? I gave you 6 little cheats. You got it?
I'm gonna do that one. Getting pre-approved for mortgage. Oh, I'm supposed to do all of them?
All 6.
Get a good real estate agent. Find the house. I can't see.
It's signing a contract.
Signing the contract.
Well, what? You gonna write an offer on the house you like? I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
All right. Then what's this one?
The appraisal.
Appraisal. And what's the other thing called? Private.
Inspector.
Yep. And then what's this?
Getting the mortgage.
You get the mortgage approval and you close. Right. Absolutely. Good job. All right, so this one I got a $20 gift card and you get a shirt, but who can answer this question?
Oh,
What is it? Hey, there you go. I got you. I got it right here, all right? So that's my presentation. What? Give me some questions. Like ask. Go ahead.
How do you get paid?
I didn't get paid. So when you sign a contract, either be a buyer's agent or a listing agent, you are now in exclusive contract with that person. In your contract, you establish your commission. Commission is the percentage of the deal is what you get paid. So I'll throw it out there. Let's say it's a $100,000 house. Each agent technically should get 3% of that. So if we sell the house, you're the buyer's agent, I'm the listing agent, we close on the house, how much do you get?
3%
Of 100,000. So what do you make? And what do I make? Right. So think about it this way. So once the deal closes and everything's processed, you walk away with a check. So do some homework now. That's $100,000. You just made 3. What if you sell a $500,000? 15,000 a deal. See where I said these people can start making big money? There's people making millions of dollars a year. Now what do you got people that are up in Northville and Birmingham and they're selling $1 million houses? What are they making? $30,000 on one deal. $30,000 on one deal. So you have to start somewhere. You know, I do a lot of downriver, but now I'm branching out into Northville and Saline and other Oakland County. It's worth it.
And then does the listing agent and the selling agent, they always get the same commission usually?
It's negotiable. Sometimes most agents don't like that fluctuating. Some sellers, because here's the whole catch. Anyone that's trying to buy a house, you'd be silly not to use a buyer's agent. Let me tell you why. The seller pays both agents. So literally the seller pays the buyer's agent for bringing the buyer to buy his house. So that 6% technically comes from the seller. So a buyer doesn't pay an agent 0 out of their pocket. They get paid by the seller to buy their house. It's almost like thank you. So it's usually 3. Sometimes they try to scale it down to like 2.5. A lot of agents don't really like that, but it does happen. But 3 is your standard. 3 to 4. Some of the better agents do try to push for 4 on their end too, but standard is 3% of the deal. What other questions we got?
what's your yearly sales?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I can't tell you that. It's good. It's not great, but it's improved. I've been doing it for 7 years, and I can tell you right now, this is my first year doing it full time, and now getting my broker's license, because the difference between an agent and a broker. So a broker is just an agent that can open his own office. You have to be a real estate agent for 3 years. Once you're an agent for 3 years, you can take the broker's license. That's a 90-hour course and another tough test that you pass. Now I'm a licensed real estate broker, which means I can open the agency 3Sixty5. Where is this? Under my name. So I'm still under EXP, but this is my office. So that's the difference between an agent and a broker. An agent has to work under a broker. Once you become a broker, you can work for yourself and open your own business. I would love to tell you, every year it has increased pretty good every year because I put more effort into it. I got better. My network and relationship, my client base got bigger, and it's a long play. You're not going to go crazy the first year. You got to have a long-term plan to build clientele, and then it starts working itself, and you start building a team, and then that's how everything starts to come together. Go ahead.
And then are you still gonna have to be affiliated with EXP? Or
Correct.
do you have your own?
I'm considered an associate broker. In the state of Michigan, we have one managing broker per state under EXP. EXP is the first cloud-based real estate brokerage in the world. We don't have to have offices. It's cloud-based. Like all of our documents get uploaded to a cloud. We have a virtual world. Like you guys see this metaverse and all that that's coming in, and Facebook's turning into that. We've already had a virtual world. EXP, the headquarters, is a virtual world that we can log into and have our own avatar and have meetings and training and talk to customer service and all. It's amazing. But you're under EXP, so I'm going to be the agency 365 powered by EXP, so it's still my base, and I'll still use all their practices and procedures. What else? Yes. Train you how to show. That's a great question. Yes and no. No, there is potential out there to be trained, because usually you'll shadow a seasoned showing agent. So you're just starting, say you've never done it, and we have other agents that would be going out to show. You would just shadow along and kind of get the feel for it. But a lot of times, if you've got a decent understanding of cool, fixtures in houses and how things are done right, granite countertops and nicer floors. I'll be honest, early on, I was winging it. I acted like I knew everything. And I think I fooled or made most of them believe me, but I had to do it over and over and more and more. But there's a lot of training. When you have a good team above you, they'll take you out and shadow them, so you'll be like a total showing agent. Yes?
How did you start marketing?
How did I start marketing myself? That's a great question too. So I've always been into marketing and promotions and design and film and music and all that. So I've always been pretty good with it, but this last year, believe it or not, I've actually teamed up with a major branding marketing team. And they've taught me how to take it to the next level. It's things that I already know how to do, but they fine-tuned it. But literally, it's a full-time thing, and almost like, so Ginger, she's one of my main associates. She helps me with a lot of my marketing, my website.
I'm a designer.
A lot of design work. So it's a full-time thing, because you got to hit all different avenues. I'm on LinkedIn and IG and doing reels, and social media is huge, but it's a big process. But once you start doing, you'll see the momentum go. But it's a permanent part of your job to keep you in front of everybody. So, who else? So I know some of those got some kind of question. Yes. An association? Nope. You just have to sign. You pay some dues. As long as you're in good standing with your broker and with your state, with your license, you can join in a day on an association. So it's very easy. All those steps to actually doing it, it's all on your own. When you do the online course, you can do it at home at your own pace. It can take you up to 6 months to take the course. Then you study really hard. There comes a prep exam where you take this mock test over and over until you're so sick of it, but you're getting high marks. And then you take that state exam. You're halfway there. Then you determine what broker is best for you. You can go and interview any broker you want. Real Estate One, Remax, Keller Williams, EXP, whoever you want. It's your decision who you go and work with. But that's why I'm in the process of opening this office. I want to give everybody the opportunity to come work at the best office. It's going to be state of the art, right downtown. Look what I can offer you. So it's a lot to bring the right agents into the right situation. I saw a hand back there. Yep. I'm hiring right now. I'm always hiring, because EXP is built around organizations. You want to build teams. You want buyer's agents with you. You want transaction coordinators. You want office people. I'm already building as we speak. So, yes. I can send you a link to it. I know Ms. Teresa was getting your email addresses. I can send you guys where I took mine, and it's all at your own pace online. I think with the prep exam, it's like $395 for the whole course, and then it's like $70 to take the test. So less than $500, you can be a licensed real estate agent. So I can send that to you. I'm going to email you guys this presentation, just if you want to review it at your own time. I can send you the link to that, and you guys can respond. You have any questions or anything, you have my number. Call me, text me, email me. I'm doing this for a reason, because I want to empower you guys. I want you guys to know how great the world of real estate really can be for the right people. Does anyone else have any questions? I know there's more. Go ahead.
How was your day?
How was my day? I'm here with you guys. I'm amazing right now. I took like an hour bath this morning. Man, let me tell you, it's great. Yes?
Would you do like any internships?
I am very interested in doing an internship. It's like I said, once I get my office going, because that would be something that you could come in and like sit in the office and just see how a day-to-day goes. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Because that's just gonna, I want you to be interested. I want you to come see it firsthand. And if you love it, I want you to pursue it. And I'm gonna try to help get you on path to do something if real estate is really the way you want to go. Yes?
Would you have started real estate, like taking real estate classes at like the end of high school if you would have had the chance?
1000%. That's the main reason I'm here right now, because if somebody would have taught me just a portion of what I'm teaching you guys, my life would have been completely different. Because if you do it right, I know agents right now that are 20, 21, 22 years old that are making good money, that are coming to work with me. I envy them. If I was 20 years old and I was in the real estate business and somebody's telling me the potential that you can make is unlimited, it's how hard you work at it, I wouldn't have done this 7 years ago. I would have done it 27 years ago. So I'm out here, I want to show you guys, because it's not going to be for everyone. People, it's an uncomfortable situation to be in the public eye and be a people person and talking to people. But the people that it resonates with, the opportunity's there. That's why I want you guys to know now and give you an option out of school that you can get into it right out of school. Who else? Come on. I got one more t-shirt. Someone asked me a great question. Go ahead. Yes. Like I said, I've been a real estate agent for 7 years. I don't tell nobody, and hardly anybody knew, but I worked as a part-time agent for 5.5 years. I had I had owned a business and worked full-time and sold real estate. But on the surface, the social media, everyone knew me as a real estate agent. You can do multiple. You can go to college and be a real estate agent. It's all beneficial. You know, I wouldn't tell you to jump right in 100% because it takes time to get momentum and start making money. So I would encourage that 100%.
What's your favorite house that you
My favorite house that I'm closing. Oh, that's a good question. I'm closing tomorrow on. It's been going on for about 4 months.
Do you have a picture of it up there? Because it's sweet. This is the back. I can
It's in Northville. It's my most expensive one, so that's probably why it's my favorite. But it's 5,400 square feet. It's on an acre, and I'm selling it for $760,000. But that took work. But that took work because I used to sell $70,000 houses in, Taylor. It's a process. You know what I mean? So, good question. Who else? Yes.
Are you selling in the downriver? Well, in like, have you ever thought about going into real estate in a different state?
Absolutely. So it's funny you say that because right before I went to, when this idea came about, and the owner of this building that's building, he said, let's co-own this title company. So I'm like, oh sweet, I'm gonna do my real estate. We're gonna have this title office. But I was trying to get my license in Florida at the same time. We actually had our meeting in Fort Lauderdale. So I came home, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna have a title office, and I'm still gonna be an agent. I'm like, something's not making sense because I'm trying to get my license in Florida. I'm not focused where I should be. That's when I said I need to get my broker's license because I'm going to open that as a real estate office and a mortgage office. Now that I went through mortgage too, I'm starting my own mortgage company and title. So that's why I had to maximize this opportunity. But my plan is 2 to 3 years from now, this office right here, I'm dropping right in South Florida too. I want to replicate this exact office in South Florida. So I want to get my license, my broker's license, and do the same thing there. So yes, Florida is my second home that I cannot wait to have an office. Texas is great. And there's some cities you have to look, some states you have to look, but if you have a license in one state, it's called a receptacle state, and you can do business in multiple states. Michigan is not one. You can only do Michigan.
Who was the one that asked about that house?
Yep. Here. It's a nice one.
Go ahead. I'm
How
listening.
many laws are there for like real estate and all around? How many like laws if you had to estimate?
Oh, there's a lot of legal hoops, and you have to know how to do certain things. Even all the way down to how you talk to people. Like if you're going to look in a certain neighborhood or a certain subdivision, and you're steering, say, a certain ethnic group away from a certain subdivision, you can get your license taken away. Yeah, it's called steering. You can't discriminate. Like you can't discriminate neighborhoods, ethnicity, old age people, handicapped people. Like there's all that is very well protected.
But yeah, I can.
So it's very tedious with that.
Yeah.
Talking more about houses and the actual houses. Like, do you actually do apartments too?
So I don't do many. There are other agents that specialize in trying to do, they call it multi-door, where it could be, because a residential, if we go back right here, I just want to show you real quick. If you go back to residential, there's one main part that I want you to catch. So you see there's single family, there's duplex, there's triplex, and then fourplex. 4 or under is considered residential. Once you get to 5plex or higher, or an apartment complex or condos that are multiples, it turns into commercial, and then there's a whole different attractiveness to that, like agents that specialize in that, investors that buy in them. So there is a market. I don't do hardly any of that. I would, but those are agents that kind of try to specialize in those kind of purchases. Anyone else? Someone else had one. I saw a hand. Go ahead.
So earlier we were talking about the offers, how do you determine what some of the offers?
That's a great question, actually. So when they list it, you can't just assume that the listing agent knew the right price. He's trying to get the most money for his seller. You got to go back and do your homework before you write an offer. Because if someone has a house listed for $300,000, but on the market it's only worth say $250. So I go back and I look at all the listings that have sold recently that are similar to that house in that area. That's how you determine market value of a house. The seller don't say it, the agent don't know it, the city don't say it. It's all the other houses in that immediate area that are similar to that one. What they sold for determines the value of that house that's for sale. So I would go back and do a market analysis to see what all those other houses sold for and make sure we don't overbid on a house that's not worth what we're trying to buy. So that's a great question. Go ahead. You know what? Once you get your process together, it's pretty smooth. It could be overwhelming when you first start because there's lead-based paint, there's seller disclosures, there's agency disclosures, contracts, there's purchase agreements, there's addendums, there's a lot of. But once you get your process, or people hire assistants or transaction coordinators, it streamlines a little bit. But when you start out, it does seem a little overwhelming until you get it down pat for sure. Go ahead.
How do you deal with changing market real estate?
How do you deal with it as far as what do you mean?
As far as the way how homes are so expensive right now, in the sense that
Well, how do you deal with it? You have to, the market dictates the market. So you have to play along with the market. You can't control the market.
when you're dealing with homes right now, let's say in a specific market that we're in right now, you're not thinking about maybe towards long term, for at least for your client's sake.
Sure, 100%. Yep. If you see something's inflated and people are going $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 over the list price, and I definitely have advised clients in the past to say, I don't think that's the best. I don't think, if it's going that far, you're gonna lose money right off the bat. The minute you own that house, you just lost 30 or 40 grand in equity. So that's being a professional, because your fiduciary duty to your client is advise, inform, but you never make decisions. You have to use your professional know-how to inform them as much as you can. Ultimately, it's their decision. So you can advise them that it might not be the best move, but at the end of the day, if they still want to offer, that's 100% on them. You never make a decision for anybody. It's not your place. You just advise and inform. Yep. Say that one more time. So when houses are listed, they're on a thing called the MLS. That's where all the agents list their active homes. That's where all the agents go on to see active homes. So you're my buyer's client. You tell me what you want. This many bedrooms, this many baths, this square footage, this area, this is my budget. I go in there, create a whole custom search. Every house that's on the market is in there. right? If you find houses that are active that you want, there's a thing that's currently called showing time. You click on there and you schedule through that, and that's what schedules it and they approve it for you. Hey, thank you guys very much. I love the questions. I got business cards right here. Grab one. Stay in touch with me.